Hello everyone, RG from Vidhya Communication Enhancers is back again. Today I have one more interesting story, the apprentice who never became a master. The old craftsman accepted only one apprentice every 10 years. People came from every corner of the country. Some were brilliant, some were hardworking, some were naturally gifted. One morning, a young man named Nikhil arrived. I want to become your student. The old man looked at him. Why? I want to become the best. The old man smiled. Everyone says he accepted it. On the first day, the old man placed a block of wood on the table. Make a bound. Nikhil worked for 20 minutes, then stopped. I think another design would be better. He threw the wood away. He started again. 30 minutes later, I should probably learn better tool first. He stopped. An hour later, perhaps I should first study famous craftsmen. He opened a book. That evening he had not made any single pound. The next day, the old man again placed a block of wood on the table. Make a pound, Nikhil began. Soon he imagined a better business idea, then another career, then another skill, then another book, then another video. His thoughts were brilliant. His hands were empty. Months passed. The workshop filled with plans, sketches, lists, dreams, questions, comparisons, research. The shelf remained empty. One afternoon, another apprentice visited. He was ordinary. He wasn't especially intelligent. He simply carved every day, sometimes badly, sometimes well. He made mistakes, corrected them, started again. By evening, there was always one more bowl on the shelf. Nothing impressive, just one more. Years passed. The ordinary apprentice became a master. Nikhil became an expert at imagining mastery. One evening, Nikhil finally exploded. This isn't fair. I have read more books than him. I know more techniques. I have watched the greatest craftsmen. I understand the design. I understand business. I understand psychology. I understand success. So why is he becoming great? The old man quietly walked toward the shelf. On one side stood thousands of bowls. Every bowl represented a day. Some beautiful, some ugly, some cracked, some imperfect. Then he pointed toward Nikhil's side. Not a single finished bowl, only notebook. The old man asked, which shelf would you hire? Nikhil lowered his head. The old man continued, you believe life rewards understanding? It doesn't. It rewards completed conversation with reality. Nikhil looked confused. The old man picked up a block of wood. Why you think? The wood doesn't answer. The old man picked up a block of wood. When you think, the wood doesn't answer. When you watch, the wood doesn't answer. When you compare yourself, the wood doesn't answer. But the moment you cut it, reality speaks. If the cut is wrong, reality tells you. If the angle is wrong, reality tells you. If your idea is foolish, reality tells you. He placed the knife back on the table. You have spent years talking to yourself. He has spent years talking to reality. Reality is the better teacher. Silence filled the workshop. Then the old man said the sentence Nikhil never forgot. Thought without contact with reality become imagination. Reality without thought become paper. Mastery is thought that repeatedly turns to reality. Nikhil whispered. So every time I leave the work, I return to my imagination. The old man nodded. And your imagination always tell you that you are still capable of greatness. But reality asks a crueler question. He picked up one unfinished bowl. What have you actually made today? Nikhil looked around the workshop. For years, he had believed he was standing at the beginning of greatness. Now he saw something else. He wasn't standing at the beginning. He was standing in a room filled with unfinished beginnings. Each abandoned project had protected him from discovering whether he was actually good enough. The old man understood the look on his face. You weren't protecting your future. You were protecting your ego. As long as nothing is finished, nothing can truly fail. As long as nothing is finished, you can continue believing you might have been extraordinary. But the first bowl ends the fantasy. It begins reality. The old man handed him another block of wood. Today, no new ideas, no comparison, no research, no planning, no dreaming, just one bowl. Nikhil looked at the rough piece of wood. For the first time in years, he did not ask, what if there is a better idea? He asked, what does this piece of wood need from me? And that was the beginning, not of greatness, of honesty. Years later, people admired the shelf filled with his work. Nobody asked about the thousands of ideas he never pursued, because idea had never changed him. Reality had, one finished bowl at a time. I think this story targets your pattern more directly than previous one. The line that stands out to me is not work hard, is it? It is this. You have spent years talking to yourself. He has spent years talking to reality. You mentioned thinking in multiple directions, considering multiple possibilities, and not acting. That line reframes the issue. Every hour spent only inside your own head is a conversation with yourself. Useful thinking becomes valuable only when it returns to reality. By writing code, solving a problem, building something, testing an idea, or finishing a piece of work. That is the transition the story is trying to imprint from endless internal possibilities to repeated contact with reality. So, with this, we are ending today's story. Thanks for listening. Bye, guys.